I'm good. Thank you so much for having me again.
Oh, it's nice to have you. How have you been?
This week was kind of middle of the road, I'd say. I've been trying to stick with the same amount of hours at work. But there have been a few times this week where I've been a little like sick or hungover. So that made it a little bit rough, but towards the end of the day, it kind of gets a little bit better as the day goes on. The morning's always terrible with the hangover. So if I can get through that, I feel
Oh,
like the rest will be better.
yeah, yeah. Um, how's everything else at home going?
It's fine right now. I'm still kind of getting settled into my apartment. Um, I tried, thanks to your input, I tried reaching out to my kind of lifelong family friend. And so hopefully there's no real plans, but hopefully next month she'll actually be over to see my apartment for the first time. So that's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember last time we had spoke, we were
Mhm.
talking about different goals that you wanted to hit um and today I'd like to talk about the different interventions we're going to be kind of using moving forward and see what you think. I was thinking, I was going to ask you to lessen your cravings because it's been so long. And I know that you had said it's hard, you couldn't do it on your own quite a few times. So, what do you think about maybe getting some medication management? And I'll just send you to a psychiatrist to get like a referral to see if you meet the criteria too. And I think that would help the cravings and help you kind of stay off of it. What would you kind of feel about that? How would you feel?
I think it's a great idea. I've definitely been pro like anxiety medication in the past, so I think I'm not as scared of it as I would be. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because and that leads me to the next one, which is just basically learning. It's me
Mhm.
teaching you basically about substance use and what it does to your body and your brain and kind of how that affects your behaviors. Because
Mhm.
I mean, as before you were saying, I tried to stop. It's very hard to stop because you've rewired your brain. So
Right.
it's good to see kind of why those things happen and realize that it's not, sometimes you can't control it all, just
Right.
yourself. Sometimes you need a little help and that's okay. And I commend you for trying to get help and you're so open to pretty much anything and that is great. So the next thing I would want to kind of touch base with is and use is the DBT skills. We're going to learn about a little bit how to cope a little bit better. Maybe some
Mhm.
distress tolerance or mindfulness activities to lower your anxiety symptoms and yeah, and help you cope a little bit better. How would you feel about those?
I think that's awesome. It's for some reason when I try to force myself to kind of do those things that would be helpful for mental health, like journaling or guess anyone's version of meditating. I just can't seem to take it seriously. So I think even just hearing it from you would make it feel more real, just because I feel like I don't need it or it's silly or it's not going to work. So it just kind of gets to me when I do try and then nothing changes.
Yeah, so maybe
Mhm.
like journaling is a great way for you to identify your feelings and get them out there because
Mhm.
there's the reason why you started drinking and we want to
Mhm.
find that reason. And another thing we might touch base with is CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's just kind of looking at those thoughts that you're having of why you're drinking and kind of going through them and do a little bit of cognitive restructuring. Because, like you had said before, there's reasons that you started drinking. So it would be beneficial if we explore those things too. And I think journaling is a great way to kind of explore those things. So if you don't mind, with journaling, I would like you, like, if you don't mind, 3 times a day, just write down like a feeling that you're having, whether it be good or bad. And I want you to tell me maybe a little to the side about what you were thinking when you were feeling that.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
then, and if that's too, if you end up not wanting to do that, then you can just write down how you're feeling that time and just write it all out and
Mhm.
get all of your anxiety on paper. Um,
Mhm.
and just explore kind of why you're feeling like that, and
Mhm.
kind of just keep that in mind, or I'd prefer you to write it down all the way, but it's up to
Definitely.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
I think that's great. Knowing my schedule, I will absolutely try for 3 times a day. I think I can try with 1 to 2 in the morning and night. I just feel like the middle might be tough, but I absolutely see the benefit of noticing
Yeah.
it because I convince myself every night it's for different reasons, but I don't think that's true, so I think.
Well, how
Mhm.
about you do one in the morning and then two like reasons or things at night, so that way you're not doing anything in the middle. So I would do like 5 minutes in the morning and no more than like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes in the evening. So just twice
Mhm.
really you're doing it. You're just maybe right in the second one a little bit longer, you know. Or
Absolutely.
been like, oh, in the afternoon I felt this way. And when I felt this way, I was thinking about it, and why I felt this way was this is what happened because Jerry
Mhm.
kicked me in the shin or something,
Right.
or
Mhm.
I was feeling anxious because I know you feel anxious a lot, especially
Mhm.
about, them, your work finding out about your alcohol use, things like that. That can
Mhm.
cause a lot of stress on somebody, especially when your, livelihood is attached because that's your paycheck. So I
Mhm.
can definitely understand why you're anxious. It's completely understandable. And
Thank
I know you're nervous right now, but we'll get to the bottom of this together. We'll
Mhm.
work together and do it. I promise. We'll
That's
get some work
perfect.
done. Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So next time we'll talk a little bit more about this. And I'm
Mhm.
so happy, thankful that you came in.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to dive in next week.
All right. You have a good week.
You too.